The Unpodcast is brought to you by Emma. Get more from your email marketing.
In a world where QR codes kill kittens and customer service is an oxymoron, one podcast has set out to make things right. This is the Unpodcast with your hosts, Scott Stratten and Allison Kramer.
Nearly sliced my entire face off on the mic pop filter.
Scott can be a little dramatic sometimes. It's like slicing his entire face.
There was nothing. I told you a million times. I don't exaggerate.
I would have said I almost bumped my face into the pop filter.
This is like,
I just about sliced my face off.
They use these things for two reasons. One is for a pop filter. Is that the right term, Wayne?
Pop filter is the right term.
Yeah. So they use this to stop you from popping into the microphone. And the other thing is to slice roast beef.
In all my years of recording, I've never had anyone slice their face.
Thank you. Off.
But have you
their face
have
off.
you ever had somebody slice roast beef with them?
I don't know.
You tell me Alexis on Fire. Somebody came in here and sliced roast beef with these things, right?
Slice their
right?
face
Of course
off.
you would.
Just
I didn't say it did.
Deli meat?
Yeah, just a good
You said
salted
almost.
meat.
Almost.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. Almost.
Almost sliced
It
your
didn't.
face off.
I got better. I'm good now.
How are you doing today? Other than your near miss of face slicing off.
I feel like I'm
How are
on
you
this
doing?
earth to tolerate others. That's what I feel like sometimes. It's just.
I don't know what that says about me, but
Well, you are.
I'm one
me.
of the people that
you're
you tolerate.
you're the royal me.
oh, okay.
You're part of the royal me.
All right, that's good.
So
our job on earth is to tolerate
is
others.
to try
to tolerate.
others.
Almost tolerate others.
Because Allison,
Yes.
it's not easy.
No, it's hard to be you. I know. I can tell. Traffic.
Just dealing with people driving at all.
Lines.
Lines.
Yeah.
Planes.
Yeah.
Attempted tolerance.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're trying, though. I mean, and that's important.
Allison
trying.
says she can read into a lot of what I'm thinking by how I sigh
Yeah,
about
he's
something.
got.
There's levels of sighs.
Yeah, you have a lot of noises. Like you have a variety of noises, and you have a disappointed breathing sound that you make, and I can hear it like across a room.
She says she can hear it across an airport.
I can. I can.
And the only reason that ever happens is when I have to go stand with everybody else.
Yeah, anytime, or no, there's other things. Like if you walk down a aisle and somebody's put their suitcase too far out into the aisle and you have to scooch around it, you breathe a certain way because they put the suitcase there. Anybody that has too many bags or too many suitcases, anybody that you can hear what's supposed to be inside headphones quietly, like if you hear anyone play a video and any noise, typing
Keyboard
sounds.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Keyboard
it's
sounds.
called being human.
You have a noise that you make.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that
A woman got on the plane last week with a carry-on.
Yes.
A full-size carry-on. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're allowed one personal item. So it's a little handbag.
Yeah.
It's not your Louis Vuitton giant backpack that's called a purse. It's not a hiker's backpack. It's just another item. And she got on with a carry-on and 4 bags. 4. She did her Christmas shopping at the airport, duty-free shopping at the airport. 2
Like
purses.
she showed up at the airport
Who needs 2? What's 2 purses?
Are you saying she showed up at the airport with only like a little purse and she's upgraded everything?
She showed up with a serviette.
And she
And
upgraded.
she just filled the hopper up and somehow went past the crack security team to get in. But I have to measure my bag.
Well, I just want to say, because I don't want our listeners to hear this and think something that's incorrect. I just want to say very clearly that the fact that I can hear your sighs and that you are tolerating people is one of my very favorite things about you. So I just want to lay that right out, that I'm not complaining about it. I love that I can tell by like the sound that you make exactly what level of angry you are. I like it. It's a good thing. So I'm not complaining. I'm just stating fact.
I'm not angry. Aiden, our 18-year-old, said he watched a live concert video of Pantera, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. And he said, they're so angry. Well, I don't know why you'd listen to it, because you're not angry at all. I'm like, do you know me? I play an angry person on the show all the time.
Well, you're not angry to him, so maybe that's
And
fine.
I'm not angry to somebody we're going to talk about right now.
Who are we going to talk about?
Well, let's talk about our sponsor first, Emma.
Okay.
Get more for your email marketing. Go to myemma.com/unpodcast for tips and tricks. Our webinar we did with them, which is awesome. I just watched it again 2 days ago.
And a wonderful segue into the person that you're going to talk about, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a webinar and last year's Marketing United keynotes up on there too. Congratulations to Rachel Fell, who is coming with us to Marketing United this year in Nashville. She's from Yelp. She won the contest. Thank you, everybody who entered. We have about 1,000 entries for it. And
What do you think it's going to be like to go to a restaurant with someone from Yelp? I was just thinking about that.
I didn't think about that.
Because we're going for dinner
Yeah, so
there,
she's in Wisconsin, right? She's Milwaukee and kind of Yelp area person, and we're gonna go to a restaurant with somebody from Yelp.
I'm going to be hungry with power. Like, I can always already feel
Yes.
how powerful I'm going to feel walking into a restaurant.
Those nachos took a little long.
Like, I could say whatever I want. Like, this drink is so cold. Like,
Yeah.
oh, and then she's the power that she has.
Yeah. I'm not gonna review it on Yelp.
I'm excited.
I am Yelp.
Exactly. I would tell everybody. I couldn't deal with that power. They'd have to take it away from me. I can't wield power like that. Just
So Rachel, looking forward to hanging out. I guess when this airs next week, it'll be a couple weeks. So
yeah, almost will be time for
we'll
Marketing
see you there.
United.
So flipping it up from Angry Scott Day is a good story. We're trying to highlight good stories once in a while. We're thinking of doing segments eventually again, which, More on Mountain is one of them. But we need a new name for good things. So More on Mountain works well. What's that term for that? Would take the same letter, both words. I don't know what it is. But
Alliteration.
Thank you. See? Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. That's what you do. So More on Mountain works well. Now we need something for good people. I haven't figured it out yet, but we're more than happy to hear your suggestions that we won't take. But something for good people, though, because we have an example right now of good.
Yeah.
So Allison and I love James Pearce. He's not a man.
He might be.
He is, but he's a store. So
He's a store.
And Allison got me into James Pearce. Allison got me into great things, and James Pearce is one of them, where the favorite thing in the world for Allison is a wonderfully new, brand spanking new white T-shirt from James Pearce. Now,
It's the best thing in the world.
if you've never had I don't know how to word it without sounding like a jackass.
They're
but
very expensive.
If you've never had a higher end T-shirt, I'm not talking Kanye level T-shirt, the $600 or the $300 ones, but a nicer T-shirt made of nice cotton, and it just drips on your body.
I don't have to wear suits, so
Yeah.
I figure if I want to buy a nice T-shirt, I should be allowed to.
So we've gotten to, and Allison would bring me to James Pearce, which is the one we go to mainly, is the one at the Forum Shops in Caesar's Palace.
Even though there's one in Oakville.
Yeah,
but
that we don't go to.
That we don't go to.
We go to Vegas. I don't shave until I go to Vegas. Like, that's how much we like Vegas. So we've gotten to know one of the people. His name's Richard Nagel, and he's
And he listens to the podcast.
and he listens to the show. But here's let me give you the history of it first, because we've been to a lot of stores in Vegas repeatedly and not really gotten to know it, even though we can recognize somebody in the amount. So he does the thing of retail, and he asks, so what are you guys in town for and stuff? And I tell him I speak at conferences, and he's like, oh, and we tell him about the books and stuff, and he's like, oh, I'll look them up. And I'm like, sure, you won't, because your job in retail is to lie. Right? That's the number one rule of retail. Lie to people, tell them how good they look. I walked out with $300 T-shirts from a different store once because these guys said I look good in them. So well played. So he's like, oh, I'll check it out. I'm like, yeah, no, you won't, but I get it. Thank you, though, for humoring us. We came back, a couple months later, and he's like, how are you? I checked out, I got one of the books and watched the show. And I'm like, shut up. And he did. And then we had a great chat, and he's like, see you next time. So now you feel like you got a guy. Now I got a guy. Everybody wants a guy. We have a sushi guy and stuff. So I show up 2 weeks ago, and as I'm walking to James Pearce, I understand the Forum Shops is a giant establishment, and I'm outside of the store. I'm in the main, walking towards the store, but I still got about 30, 40, 50 feet to go. I just got off the escalator. And he sees through the window. He's got somebody else he's talking to. He sees through the store window.
He pushes those people over.
He sees me and points through the window at me and comes walking out of the store like, the rest of you, go away. Points at me and goes, Scott, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fine. And of course, then the real question comes out, where's Allison?
This is the most important thing, obviously.
And I'm like, oh, she's not on this trip and stuff. And we got to start talking, and I buy shirts, and I buy Allison some shirts, and we're chatting, and he talks about the show, and I'm like, dang, you are into this. You are, and of course, you spend a bunch of money on clothes, right? I'm trying on different level thread count shirts, because you got to understand, if anybody listening right now has ever seen me talk or seen a picture of me talk or a video, I wear a black collared polo shirt, a golf shirt. Those are James Purse shirts. I have 6 of those. The same black shirt, because that's my outfit on stage.
And a blue one for the weekend.
And a blue one for the casual times. So that's where I get them from. Now I'm trying different thickness of black shirts. And he's like, I know you like these black shirts. Like, he knows what I like. And I realize that people listening right now, you might have dealt with this before at home. You know, those like Nordstroms can be famous for it and stuff like that. We're from another country. And he's got us. Like, we don't go there weekly. Every couple months. And of all the people who have come in one of the busiest places in Vegas for shopping, and he remembers us. And that is a huge thing. Now,
loyalty.
As a postscript, so Richard, and so what do? I write an email to their head office and say, I just wanted to point out, Richard, that he makes me really feel welcome and special and VIP. And I think something with a higher end, especially stuff, is that you make them feel important.
Absolutely.
And they replied to me, thanks so much for the feedback. And they passed it on to the district manager, who passed it on to him. And he emailed me saying, dude, thank you so much for saying that. If somebody
now we're talking about him on the podcast.
Right, but if somebody helps you out, really impresses you, we're so quick to jump to Yelp or TripAdvisor or email or tweet when we're angry. What happens when we're happy? I think it's on us. I think it's on us to be able to also
share the good stories.
Share the good.
Yeah.
And not only, like I said, we try to do this on the show as much as we can, but do that. Write an email to corporate. They share those things. They do spread those things. When we wrote about Wes on marketing, that got spread across the whole company. And he got an Employee of the Year. You can make a difference in somebody who's made a difference in your day. Right? Just
maybe we should name it after Richard. Like, maybe that's where it's going. We'll figure something out.
God, the Richard Nagel.
We'll figure something out.
But here's the postscript to it. So remember when Richard said, where's Allison? So the trip before that I'm by myself again, there's no worse place in the world than Vegas by myself because Allison's not there. So I go into Nobu, which is our sushi place. So now, not only do we have a James Purse clothing guy, we got a sushi guy. There's 2 sushi chefs at the Caesar's Palace Nobu, which is where I learned to eat sushi, which is why I can't eat it anywhere else now because it's that good. And the black miso cod is my eyes twitching just thinking about black miso cod. Thank you, Tom Webster and Samson, for introducing us to that dish because it's the greatest thing in history. So I walk in, and we're going to go eat where we like to eat, which is right up where the sushi chefs are. And I walk in, and one of the guys that we know, because we've eaten there so much, he's like, Scott, points to me, motions to me to come sit in the seat in front of him. And as I'm walking, he just starts realizing it's just Scott. And he says, hey, where's Allison?
So really, I have a sushi chef and I have a James Purse guy.
I got nobody.
I just want to clear it up that if anything happened, I'd get the sushi chef and the James Purse guy.
No, I don't know where Allison is.
Yeah.
Yes, she's awesome.
I just want to clear that up. I'm beloved.
You are beloved.
Yeah. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On to the next one.
I've given you a sushi chef and a James Purse guy.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be they love us because we spend a ridiculous amount of money in both of those establishments, but we'll just throw it out.
That's
from
also
there.
a possibility.
But there's lots of places we spend money where people aren't like that. So
exactly.
It's not. So on the other side of what we've been talking about, this article, which is from bulldogreporter.com, is fascinating. It says they've done some research. It says Customer Engagement Index, 2016 Customer Engagement Index study that says that 47% of consumers will take their business to a competitor within 1 day of experiencing poor customer service if price and products are of equal value. And what they're saying, which is fascinating, and it doesn't really seem like anything that we didn't already know, to be honest. This is something that we spoke about in Unselling a lot, is that customer service is important, and providing good customer service is important for customer retention, and also as a consumer and as consumer advocates, that good customer service is important. So what we're finding here, what their research showed, is that consumers have more options than ever, it says, which we know as well. So they don't feel compelled to stay loyal to a given company when a customer experience falls short. Some of the worst, some of the worst industries are cable and satellite providers, they're saying. No news there. And one of the biggest things that are turning people away is frustration over automated phone service. So basically what they're saying is that it says 64% of consumers begin their customer service journey on a website, and when issues aren't resolved, 32% of them pick up the phone. They pick up the phone, they get the automated service.
They're already furious.
They're already furious. The automated service just makes them more angry, and they're saying they're very frustrated. I know for whatever the tone of my voice, whatever it is, those automated voice things never work for me. And I just get angrier and angrier and angrier. By the time I get a person, I'm shouting. Like, I'm so mad and so frustrated. Yeah. And they're saying that it's actually, I think it speaks to good customer service in some ways, because I actually think it's nice that they're saying 1/3 of customers who are angry pick up the phone. Like, it gives the companies an opportunity, at least. It doesn't say 1/3 start shouting online. 1/3 gives you a chance to make things right, which is good.
My thing of this is understanding that every step they go, they get angrier.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the biggest things for me about things like social is catching it early. So if I socially on Twitter or Facebook say something almost passively, like, this just happened again, I can catch you earlier on in the anger before you get to this furious phone call point, where I can solve it much quicker. It's like when you get to the point where you just, like a cable company, you cut the cable. You're like, I'm out. And they have the save team call you and offer you something that if you offered it 3 weeks prior, would have made it, I would have been ecstatic.
And also that good phone service still matters. It still matters.
Sure.
People want to talk on the phone. 1/3 of these people are talking on the phone. And so imagine if you could take 1/3 of your furious customers and turn it around just with the simple thing of having appropriate, helpful people answering the phone.
You know who talks on the phone?
Who?
Our 14-year-old.
Oh, yeah, he does. He likes the phone.
It's blowing my mind. He phones his friends. I'm like, wait, whoa. I have a whole millennial rant in my talking stuff now. You can't be talking on the phone. He says, yeah, it's quicker, which is why people call a company.
Quicker.
Yeah. But there's an expectation to how quickly something be answered. And this is a good point, and we can actually, this is a good segue for the Jay's book when it comes about this, because there's an expectation of resolution that Jay has in the book. So let me just jump into Jay's book first, which is Hug Your Haters. So Jay Baer a good friend of ours, came out with his third book, Hug Your Haters, which is how to embrace complaints and keep your customers. And we have a copy here, with 2 copies here, signed by Jay, that we're going to give away to a listener or viewer right now. So if you're watching right now and you want a copy, remember, he did sign each one of them. You send us a tweet or put it on the Facebook page and say you want one, and we're going to give a couple away. And Allison's rocking some socks today.
I am. I don't know if they can see them.
Can you put your foot up on their butt?
I can try. I can definitely put my foot up, but it's a matter of whether the camera's going to see them. They say, I heart haters. Yeah. And actually, if you look at my Twitter ad on Allison, I posted a picture of them earlier today. So if you couldn't see them in the camera, all you have to do is look at Allison on Twitter, and you can see a picture of my socks.
10 books. You get I Love Haters socks. So what a great, that's a phenomenal book. He has so many amazing people giving him testimonials. He didn't need one from me. That's not offensive at all. So he talks about the difference between offstage haters and onstage haters. A really interesting thing in it, which is called the hatrix, right? Which is talking about all the different parts of the book. Let me just give you some highlights from the hatrix that's in the book right now. So people expecting a reply, 91% of people will expect a reply when they phone, 89% email, 42% social media, 53% review sites, and 47% in board and forums. So the boost in advocacy, if you answer a complaint, is 10% boost from the phone, 8% email, 20% social. And how much you lose from unanswered it shows you minus 51%, minus 56%. So it's amazing. The people make 2.84 offstage complaints a year, which means people not in public. So it's a phone call or an email. And on stage is 3.51. And the data, here's the best thing about the whole book, by the way. And if you don't win it, go buy it. Is that he hired our good friend Tom Webster and Edison Research to go, and they actually researched. They actually got the data about complaints and resolving them and how we can turn it around. We've always said people complaining are what they're looking for is validation. And this book says that as well. What they want you is to say, I've heard your complaint. And that the worst type of customer complaint there is the one you never hear. That's always the worst type of complaint. And so it's a phenomenal book. Grab a copy of it. And
yeah, guys, let us know if you want one. We're going to give away the 2 copies we have here on our desk.
We bought 10 of them. We didn't even get it for free. I bought them. So take that. That's how much we love them. And we also love, speaking of hugging haters, Emma.
Emma's not a hater.
No,
Emma
but they hug their haters. They don't have any yet.
But when they meet one.
When they one day have one.
They will hug them.
Yeah. Go to myemma.com/unpodcast for hater tips and tricks. And
there's no hater tips and tricks.
Different things. And if you want to go and use an email marketing service that will not only fit your budget, but fit your needs, check them out. I dig them. Their analytics are second to none in real time, and you can get them on your phone, which is awesome, by the way. They even have this guest book thing you can put on your iPad and you'll sign up for your email list if they're in person. Very cool stuff.
That's cool.
Go see
Good
them.
for shows.
Cost you nothing except a little bit of time, and you'll be smarter. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. We got a tweet, by the way, a follow-up from one of the old episodes.
Yeah, we were talking about made-up words. If you guys are listening, you might remember that. We were talking about, was it a womanar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The women are and the man are.
Yeah, the women are and the man are. And so one of the
percolating.
things we love about our podcast listeners is how engaged they are. We're always getting, and sometimes like if people listen to it a little bit later and they'll send us a tweet, we'll have to go back and remember what we were talking about, because you guys might not know this, but sometimes the things we talk about are a little random. So this tweet came from Matthew Eaton, and he wrote, he gave us two made up words, booketing, which is Facebook marketing.
Oh, yeah!
Booketing.
I thought it was book marketing when I
It was
first heard
shike.
it.
That was the word.
Shike.
Shike.
I
Okay,
shike
so
this, yeah.
booketing.
Shike that.
Yeah, booketing.
I thought it was book marketing when he first said booketing.
Yeah, Facebook marketing.
We're not even going for the first part of the word anymore. Now it's book and itting.
Because is it face-sitting? I don't know. Face-sitting? Face-sitting.
You didn't get it the first time you said it,
I
right?
didn't even get it the first time.
No, Wayne's a certified expert in
Did he
face-sitting.
laugh?
Yeah, no, he is.
I don't even know what to say.
And workinar, which is a work webinar.
But what webinar is not a work webinar? Is there such thing as a funanar?
You and your buddies don't have good time webinars?
A funanar. You
Wait.
and your buddies on a Saturday night, we're gonna have a funanar.
I bet face-sitting has good time webinars.
Yeah, Wayne's gonna give us a funanar and face sitting. Sounds like a 70s Shanana band too. Funanar.
Funanar.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Funanar!
So, Matthew Eaton, thank you for sharing your pain with us. We always appreciate hearing from
That was the best one.
our listeners, and you are our champion for living in the world where booketing and working are a part of your life. Thank you.
And the worst thing about them, they're real. Like you've seen them in action.
Yeah.
And that was just two of them, by the way.
Who doesn't have time to say work webinar? You're right. You don't even need to say work. Who doesn't have time to say Facebook marketing?
Everybody should take time, by the way, to say face sitting. Facebook marketing, by the way. That's what it means. It's totally what it means, by the way. All right. From Marketing Magazine. We're talking a little bit about cars now. Since we pulled in today in a car and you were professing your love to our car.
I was actually,
Volvo.
as that's
What's the
true.
model?
You didn't make that up.
Okay.
XC90.
XC90.
Yeah, I love that car.
So Marketing Magazine claims consumers lack loyalty to car brands, except for Allison. Bond brand loyalty survey
I'm super
shows
loyal
less
in
than a
general.
third of Canadians love their cars. Automobile brands aren't inspiring much loyalty in Canadian buyers. Bond surveyed 2,000 Canadians who were asked about their current vehicle and what they plan to purchase next. Only 29% of Canadians said they were very satisfied with their current vehicles, and 51% were satisfied. Asian automotive brands has the highest level of satisfaction. Is that racist? Followed by European and then North American brands. Half of Canadians said they would choose a different automobile brand the next time they were in the market for a new vehicle. Now that is fascinating, by the way. We all know that it's a lot more efficient and less costly to keep a customer rather than to find a new one. Kyle Davies, Director of Marketing Research for Bond Brand Loyalty, says. And so the fact that on average automotive companies are only keeping 50% of their customers speaks to a huge opportunity for improvement in the industry. The study found 40% of automotive loyalty was based on product and service components, and emotional factors drive 31%.
I'm super loyal. I would buy another one of the same car that I have.
They go on to say if you consider that the vehicle and service are table stakes and that you need to be as good as your competitors, the differentiation is going to happen when you create an emotional connection.
What's a table stake?
Table stake is just the beginning. So
Is that like an expression that I
it's
don't know?
Expression in poker, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I understand.
you have to
Table
put
stake.
it's $100 to play
Okay.
our poker game. So that's what they're saying is just you have to have at least a vehicle like this and this, but then now it's an emotional connection. I don't know if you need an emotional connection to it. I think a car creates one. Can't create it beforehand. What surprised me to hear is it says half the people. Now, remember, saying what you're going to do and actually doing it is different. But, in our parents' generation, you figured you were a Pontiac person. You bought Pontiacs or Oldsmobiles.
Yeah, I think
right?
car marketing is entirely about creating an emotional connection to the brand. Yeah. Look at what car commercials are. They rarely talk about the details of the car. It's usually like a car driving on a road and the wind's blowing.
Matthew
like
McConaughey.
It's all about the emotional connection.
Peyton Manning.
I think.
Peyton selling his
That's right.
Buick.
Yeah. And it, an audible or something, right? Or I can't remember what the joke is, but he's getting directions home and he changes his mind or something. Yeah. I'm super loyal. I love my car. So.
Well, why though?
And it's the third one of that car that I've had. The service is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Safety record is really, really good. I'm comfortable in it. The price is reasonable. Like it fits all of those different things for me.
Right. Not too
And I think I
bulky.
look, and I feel like it fits in with, I feel good about it.
If Peyton Manning tried to sell you a car, would you change?
No. I wouldn't.
Well, Martha Stewart.
I've only
tried
had
to sell you.
2 kinds of cars in my whole life, actually. And it was just a budget thing. Like once I could afford something better than the first kind of car I had, then I went to the second kind of car.
If Volvo had the same issues as Volkswagen,
Then I would go to a different car.
would you change cars?
Yeah,
Because
for
of
sure.
that?
I don't have that kind of loyalty, but I don't have any of that kind of loyalty, I don't think, to any product. Like if a product...
Martha Stewart and Lululemon. We talked about we did. We talked about impenetrable brands, right? And this tests that, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different. It's just
To be
amazing
honest,
to me how
like,
quickly people would shift.
If Lululemon was I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would still be loyal with something. That was pretty extreme. Setting up the computers to trick the emissions and killing the environment, not taking any responsibility for it. I think that's pretty extreme. I don't think Martha would do that.
It's true. Speaking of killing the environment, go to emma.com, myemma.com/unpodcast for tips and tricks how to kill the environment.
They would never call something a work in our.
They would if we asked them to.
No, they
It would
would.
be funny, right?
You think
You know
they
who's
would?
funny is their CEO is Clint.
He is funny. If he's listening right now, Clint, we think you're funny.
I assume he listens to every show to see how their marketing dollars are being spent, but he's a funny guy. Not even saying that as part of the sponsorship. It's not in the contract. I find him funny. I don't find a lot of people funny. I find Allison funny. That's about it. So.
Is that the whole list?
Well, Adam's funny. But that's because when he makes noise in the background and stuff and gets flustered a bit. Wayne's funny just because of the face setting stuff. Kathy saves me from looking funny. So there's different degrees of it, but actually laugh out loud funny. He's one of the people. All right, the last thing we want to talk about today is ketchup. Because why not?
This was something that was shared a gazillion times on Facebook. I've rarely seen something as many times as I saw this ketchup picture.
At the time of this printing, this Facebook post from this one guy, Brian, has been shared 130,000 times. Not seen, shared.
I know, 130,000 times.
How often do you see things shared? Like 6 figures.
It's crazy.
So this article is from the Montreal Gazette. We got it from was Bye Heinz. French's ketchup sells out after online post praising it and its Ontario-grown tomatoes. An Aurelia man, which is just 45 minutes from here, man's viral Facebook post has renewed interest in Leamington tomatoes and the devastating loss of the town's Heinz plant, plus a new ketchup that is helping turn things around. So, Brian Fernandez was grocery shopping when he noticed a few bottles of French's ketchup on the bottom shelf, squeezed beneath 4 rows of Heinz. His family loves French's mustard, but had never heard of its ketchup. He thought he'd do some internet research before picking which one to buy. But the first article that came up was not what he expected to see. Heinz was pulling out of Leamington. 740 jobs gone, plant to close. Quote, I didn't even know there was a town called Leamington, he said. He was shocked such a big company could stop using Canadian ingredients and he hadn't heard about it. The next day, he picked up French's ketchup, made from tomatoes grown in Leamington and processed into tomato paste in the same plant Heinz, now Kraft Heinz, once operated. Highbury Canco Corp. took over the plant in June 2014 and later signed a contract with French's. The company has promised to use only local tomatoes and ketchup sold in Canada, said French's president Elliot Penner. We think that Leamington tomatoes are great quality. Canadians like the move, he said. We are pretty surprised how emotional people were. That they're pretty gung-ho about it. Fernandez wasn't convinced right away. First, his family had to do a blind taste test to show they liked Canadian ketchup. Test 1 was with the finger. The second round tasted with ketchup on a French fry. Every one of us chose French's. Plus, they like the use of natural sugar and pronounceable ingredients.
And that there's a Food Banks of Canada thing on the bottom. That's good, too.
Fernandez posted his support for the French's ketchup on Facebook last Tuesday, along with reasons why he would pick it over Heinz. We bought a bottle, and we absolutely love it, he wrote in the post. It's really good for our municipality and for the local farmers, said Leamington Mayor John Patterson. I'm certainly happy to read and see such strong support. Sam Diab, president and co-owner of Highbury Canco, said it's encouraging to see passion for local products. Fernandez said he never planned for the post to go viral. The 49-year-old construction worker felt sympathy for those affected by the Heinz closure and wanted to share his appreciation of French's decision to step in. A day after his post, Fernandez went into a grocery store to stock up on milk. He walked past the ketchup display. Every bottle of French's was sold out. Don't even bother, a clerk told him. All the stores are sold out.
That's great. See, being loyal, sticking with the Ontario farmers. This guy's sharing it. Now they're sold out. It's a good success story. I like it.
An individual doesn't have to have 5,000 friends or 100,000 followers to have an effect.
And they didn't even do anything. They just kept doing what they've been doing all along. Yeah.
He just dug into it a bit
wonderful.
and looked at it. So
now we want French fries.
now we want French's ketchup. We should do a blind taste test here. And yes, I want fries too. But not on poutine, because that's what psychopaths do. Oh, from ketchup to cars to Richard, our main man at James Purse. We're going to bring him some ketchup. Talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and visit theunpodcast.com. And remember, friends don't let friends use QR codes.